for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize, it's really time.
Yeah.
Thomas Jackson.
Yeah. Bounce. Yeah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We are going to be going into what will be, well, I think it's actually Group C now, so definitely getting a little bit more interesting in terms of this group. Seems like, oh, is my mic a little bit quieter than normal? I can't really tell. Can't hear myself as well as normal, so may have some settings problems there. But either way, you guys can let me know in terms of the sound balance and stuff. But, yeah, we should be going in... Oh, I've not... There we go. That should fix it. There we go. Okay, it was my end. Nothing to do with anything. But, yeah, Outlaws versus Spartak. First game of this group. We should be starting out relatively soon. Of course, the classic Quebec and Tony Black issue, which seems to just be in play every single time he wants to actually start things off. But, yeah, not a bad start to the group. Not a bad couple of teams to go into this with. I can briefly bring up the map pool for you just before this knife round finishes, and that is going to be the first being Train, then Mirage, and then finishing out on Nuke. Now, in terms of this map pool for Outlaws, first map is probably their best map, or at least one of them in their pool at the moment. Mirage is one that they like to play a lot. They've had a lot of sort of sketchy results in the mix. And then Nuke, not one that they play a whole lot, but actually in terms of how they've actually sort of played over the time, they're not bad at it at all, so definitely looking to see how they'll play today. Spartak, well, I got to see them during the minor, the CIS minor that is, and they were very up and down. Like, if Little had a great performance, we actually saw them play exceedingly well. He's a talented individual, but I feel like too much relied on him as a player. So we'll see if they can actually pull this one off. I don't think the map pool's particularly bad for them, but at the same time, we haven't really seen too much from this team in general. In On Train, it's actually the most played map. They've only got 8 maps on it total, so not anything overly impressive, and they've lost far more than they've won. Mirage as well is sort of a 50-50, and then the final map of Nuke, they've only won it twice, so really not a whole lot of info to go on at the moment. And, well, unless Little does have one of those crazy games and step up big, I'm questioning how far they can actually go in this group. Either way, going to be going into the first round. Hello, Disco. Good afternoon to you. It's very hot again, but I'm hoping that my biggest fan in the corner, will be doing me justice and keeping me alive at least for this series. T-side investing a little bit into utility. Looking to start things off strong. I haven't seen too much from them overall. I think I've balanced this now. My mic was just off. I've knocked the volume on it, so I'm hoping that now it'll be to a point where I'm not overly loud, but you can still hear me. Either way, Little looking to try and find those initial shots, but not doing too well at it. And actually, Rocking's going to hit the first headshot, but doesn't get himself a kill for it. Rocking has to be a little bit careful. He's got players pushing into him, but it's all been an elaborate ruse as now the T's have rotated back towards the A site. Definitely better in terms of defensive capabilities if you can get that bomb down, which they should be able to. Although, actually alone on the site now is the bomb man putting it down. That will, of course, be Nicky, and leaving it into this 2 versus 4. Now, realistically, there should be no hope for Nicky in this situation. He has planted the bomb for himself, so he should be able to rotate back around. Finds one, but he can't do anything more. Face crack will take him down, and that will be the first round going the way of Spartak. And I have to wonder, just a little bit, did they overthink that one? I definitely agree that it's a lot easier to sort of hold on to, like, after plant positions, but I'm not so sure it was the right decision to be making. Rotating all the way back around, especially when you've already hit sort of a dink over towards B. The other thing is, when you do a strategy like that, that one player pretty much has to trade, because otherwise you just leave yourselves in a disadvantage on a retake. And in a pistol round, it's normally fairly easy to trade 1-for-1. Like, if you're going and getting a couple or 3 kills, it's normally because of a mistake. Now the T side are actually going to fully invest even behind the bomb plant, so quite a risky force buy. And I feel like the Bulgarians are known for their risky 4-buy. I think this is sort of like the medium of Bulgarian. Like Imperial or full blown. Like they just go ridiculous. They can sometimes lose games just by being silly. Whereas Outlaws, they seem to have a little bit more balance to their buys. But in this round, at least as said, they've invested everything into utility used wisely. And Nicky is actually going to be the first to get a kill. Now, this is something I hate from Little. Him only buying a pistol into these second rounds just leaves his team in a detrimental position as he goes down, achieving absolutely nothing. It leaves them into a 2 versus 2, and it's actually, well, I was going to say UMPs, but Pro Play's going to be able to pick up one. Jerry, looking to round the corner, walks into the Tech 9. Can't quite find the kill as of yet, and actually, NK's going to be doing the damage. Gets himself one, it will be traded back, and Pro Play actually going to jump out to... Well, I was going to say to the UMP, but he's quickly dealt with by Spallan, and they will get themselves another round. Hello, Topper. Yeah, this is something that I've hated since watching Little play. With the AWP, he is excellent. With the rifle, he's not bad. But for some reason, every second round, if they win the first, his whole team will buy, and he will buy a P250. And it's not anything, like, sort of poor in his point. Like, his teammates should be able to step up and hold on to the round. The problem is, if a force comes in and he goes 1 for nothing, which he will most of the time, he just leaves his teammates out to dry with an instant disadvantage. So, very disappointing to see that he's still doing that, even though I've seen them lose so many second rounds. Hello, Fak. You got a lot of... I don't want to say that name properly because I'm not God B. I can't pull it off. Yeah, first map is the pick of Outlaws. On CT side, just looking to do a little bit of extra damage. Maybe pick up a weapon. But we've got 5 UMPs for Outlaws in this round. So they're just looking to make themselves some money. And if they can break this buy, there won't be much coming back into the next. Jerry will at least be able to get one. Gonna get traded out, and while every single player looking to fall. Last map will be a nuke. Cleaned up. Not too bad overall. A little bit of damage done, but not really anything too impressive. Now, you know me from the Baltics. Ooh. Yeah, I haven't... When was the last... Well, I technically casted HS at the NVIDIA GeForce Cup, so there's one Baltic player I've casted. And, I guess Quick as well. So there's a few in there. And Flarich. Yeah, Flarich from, oh, who does he play for now? Completely blanked. Oh, Prosto. There we go. I remember. They've gone for this close hot dog position. Now, this is great when you have a rifle, even if you have a shotgun on the player at the front, or if you have a UMP, because the range will be taken by face crack, and then the short range will be taken by Jerry. But they don't have anything, so it's not really that good a position overall. Obviously, this is still the problems after that failed round in the second. How do these teams get into those competitions? I don't actually know. Genuinely don't know. Wait, do you mean into this competition? Because I don't know. I'm guessing they're invited. Oh no, I've got something to say about this when the round ends, but let's continue. NK does break the fight, the mistakes. If they didn't have pistols in that round, I can tell you why they would have lost it, but... Cirque looking to Molotov off the site. Back and actually still with a pistol and armor, and now picking up a UMP. Somehow Pro Play's managed to get one. Very little. Get back in. Able to do some extra damage. Now, one of my pet peeves, and I can understand why teams do it, but why take the bomb pop? Like, there is never, ever a reason to take the bomb pop. It's closer. That's the only benefit. It's closer to the site. But when you know you're up against pistols, running down there, dropping into that position is just silly. Because it's very easy for you to die on the first entry. Especially considering the first player going down there was with the bomb. You have to be absolutely mad. If the second player in NK goes down, they could have actually lost a round to full pistols. So, at least from my perspective, you should just not do it. Just don't bother taking the bomb down. Drop, send somebody else there. If you clear the position, then go down with the bomb. As said, I know the benefit. You're a lot closer to the site. But other than that, it's silly. Orps on both sides. Little buying his limited utility over for the CT side. And Kabakin, he thinks his Molotov's done the work. But actually, slow reactions from Cirque. It's going to give him 2 kills. That's far more than he should have got. But look at the wipe down. Spallan and Nicky just doing all of the work for their team. Picking up 3 kills. Leaving Jerry roleplay to try and retake this one. Jerry going to be peeking up. Spots Spallan. Almost catches him. Will fall to the aggressive position of Nicky. How far? Oh, probably. That's just bad luck. Timing going to get the better of him. NK finishes him off, and the buy will not work out for Spartak. They are slaughtered by this T side, and it started so well. Kabakin getting away with 2 kills there was far more than he should have got. Either way, Cirque looking to farm himself up a little bit of cash. I'm guessing that means he lost his AWP in that last round, so not going to be able to play with that, but he does have a good chance to actually make some money here. No head armor across the whole of the CT side. Little, of course, just going to be saving to make sure he has an AWP. T side just going to be patient this time. Not taking too much map control, just waiting for peaks. Pro player has no chance, but he'll just decide to fall back. Still really fighting for this pop dog control. You can tell that it's clearly a big part of their plans. But in a round like this, it's really not necessary. A lot of the time, you just want to be taking those long-range duels. If you want to send somebody down pop, Cirque is the prime example. He can just jump down and pre-fire. A lot more chance of hitting a spammy headshot while falling through the air with a MAC-10 than you do with an AK. And also, if he dies, it's not really the end of the world. I'm sure he's a lovely person, but the value of his MAC-10 is small. And, well, the damage it can do if it's lost, even smaller. So we're just going to watch him, see if he can clear out any of the sites. We're going to clear up spots all over the map at the moment. The MAC-10 not really able to spot anyone out. Face crack. Kabakin just going to look to do a little bit of extra damage. Now I have to say, Kabakin in this team during the CIS minor looked revitalized. I think they actually were one of the teams to help knock out their old team. Like they helped knock out, or his old team, I suppose, Spirit. So he definitely looked like he was playing very, very well. Obviously, that's on LAN. It's a different circumstance. They didn't get through anyway, so it's not like it was an incredible, like, performance from them. It's not like they completely changed all expectations. They are going to change their buy. Double AWP setup. Spallan actually going to stick with the MAC-10. Risky, but again, 4 players without any head armor. Little the only one with. Not going to matter. Pro play will be the one to start. Little going to be on the boost spot. Waiting up. Trying to spot out somebody into that main position. Spartak Moscow, yeah. I think they are owned by Spartak Moscow. So hopefully they're better at CS than the football team are at football. That's harsh. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever watched Spartak Moscow play. I don't know why I would. Nice start, though, by the CT side. They found themselves 2 picks. Cirque going to be looking to get back in, and so is Spallan, but he only has a MAC-10 and a flawless round. 12 damage done to the whole of this CT side as they get their full buy on the board. Nice stuff from them. Of course, the amount of money that's been made over the previous few from Outlaws is going to give them a wonderful buy. AWP already being dropped for Cirque. He's yet to really do too much, which is a little bit disappointing, but when there's 2 AWPs on the other side, he's going to be the man to challenge off against them. Try and find the opening picks for his team, and he's going to be heading over towards Ivy. That's exactly what he will do. First pick goes his way, pre-fires into the angle, gives them control, or at least a little bit of control over towards Ivy. Smoke gonna fall down before Jerry can really spot anything else. He has absolutely no idea how far through his opponents have gone. He's actually just going to look to go very aggressive, and actually Rocking's going to be the one to start things off. They've now can take control completely of Ivy. They could go around the right side if they really want to. Facecrack trying to push away. Going on top of the train, though, that is silly. You know you've lost Ivy. Why would you put yourself at an elevated angle where your opponents can spot you out? Mistakes coming out from him already. NK is going to be adding to this death toll on what looked like a flawless round in the previous round. Leaves Kabakan as the only one left alive. Definitely not going to be flawless in this. And the chances of them winning it, incredibly slim. Now for him, keeping a rifle could be massive. Now remember, they kept every single player alive in the last round. He almost gets away with that, which is quite surprising. I want to see them save here. If they save one round, 1900 added in, they can have a pretty good buy going into the next. They could even get double ops back if they really wanted to. So it's definitely worth it. Instead, they're going to invest a little bit more into pistols, which is still understandable. But I think that actually takes away the chance of them getting Kevlar behind an AWP. At least onto Little. That's... like, I think Facecrack will have exactly the right amount. Little's not, though. So that's weird. I don't know why he invested into so much when we know he wants to have that AWP. If he can get a kill, of course, I take everything back. He'll have the exact right amount to get everything he desires. However, I'm not holding my breath. He's currently waiting over towards the A site, and every single player... well, I was going to say sits over towards B, but the map clearly is not working on when I make it bigger, so that's beautiful. Thank you for that. In fact, the overlays... there we go. Will the map work now? No. Never mind. You can see it here, just over on the left. On the left, you can see the map. One man waits. Probably in fear, because every single player, except for the bomb, interestingly, is waiting. Now, there's been no aggression in this round from Spartak. They have no control. The closest place they've taken to any sort of aggression is Pop Dog, which they can get to first, so it's not really that impressive. A main, not been taken, and the quickest rotation will come out from the man himself, Facecrack. Jerry will go down without a fight, though, and now they're going to try and rotate back in, but instantly they're going to get dropped. Cirque holding with the AWP. Facecrack.
Bomb has been planted.
Now, if anything here, I would say Little just save the Kevlar, because he won't be able to afford Kevlar with the AWP unless he gets a kill. And even then, it's not really worth it. He has to get 2 kills for this, or even 3 kills for this to be anywhere near worth it. Like, the T's aren't going to be taking any turmoil from this. The maximum he'll probably get is 1. I'm not really sure what he's hoping to achieve in this situation. If he can get a weapon, okay, that's wonderful. I take it all back. He's a genius. But they've got no reason to fight him. And actually, he will get away with the Kevlar, so that's going to be fine. He'll have enough to buy an AWP behind it as well. Nobody really hunting him in this situation, other than Rocking, who... again, there's not really any benefit here. Nade going to go out. All that's going to do is a little bit of damage onto Little, which will have, well, little to no effect. And as said, now he will be able to afford the AWP. But you take away that Kevlar, he's only got 450 in the bank. So his aggro does worry me a little bit there. Instead, he'll be able to afford a Kevlar and a kit. The rest of the team are going to be buying down. Jerry and Kabakan, in fact, going to opt to go for the FAMAS to get some extra nades on the board. And considering it's, what, $850 less, can give you quite a bit. Little as well with the start. Aggressive peek out towards upper B. Gets that first kill. We're going to look to see how the T's react in this situation. Only really lost 1 buy round so far, and that was actually the round where they lost the initial picks. However, Rocking pushing straight out onto the site is going to be able to pick off 1. Facecrack with the combination of Proble, who's actually going to kill his teammate. It will be killing Spallan in the meantime, so if anything, I think that's a worthy trade. It keeps the man advantage alive, but let's see if it has much of an effect. Lovely flashbang out. Will give a kill over towards Nicky. Little. How much can he do? He gets 1. It's all on Cirque. There's a kit on Little as well. But he can't really afford to go down in the back lines. Get back and trying to clear angles. Spot something out at this point. Cirque going to be missing the shot. And now they know exactly where he is. He's just going to look to bake down this time. That said, it's Little with the kit. Ooh, nice shot. But I think Little should just about have enough time. He will be quick enough to trade that kill and just about get the defusal. But it's very close once again. Outlaws not going to have any problems buying back up. And if Spartak are going to have any chance in this map whatsoever, they cannot lose this round. Pretty similar. I think they've got maybe an extra bit of utility. Just because they've got pro play actually onto that UMP. T-side, absolutely no trouble buying back up. In fact, they can do the same in the next round as well without taking any hits whatsoever. And pro play, I think that's maybe the second or third time he's just gone rushing out Ivy. So the T-side are so aware of the potential of that they're just going to play patiently. And this seems to work wonderfully for Outlaws. The aggressive pushes that they have at the beginning of the round don't seem to work. Like we saw in the last round, they go more aggressively over towards upper B. They get punished. So this round they switch it up. They slow things down. They let the T side or the CT side come to them. And now they're going to stick it out with a man advantage. And as said, so far, the only rounds that Outlaws seem to have lost are where they lose that opening pick. Other than that, well, actually, I can say that for sure because they didn't lose. Not a single player died in this round, and well, that round was just moments ago. So I hope my memory at least lasts that long. Either way, we'll see if they can finally break that trend. They still have Mr. Little on the AWP. Wonder if his first name's Stuart. But now we have the push coming in. Smoke. Actually going to give a bit of an angle for Jerry to play around, so they've got to be careful with this one. I'm not sure they know that this smoke seems slightly off, but it won't matter as Falan's going to be able to find one, and as they trade effectively, they just hold on to this man advantage. In fact, two-man advantage. Again, a nade going to be missed, but they actually drop the bomb out in the open. Now they've only got 25 seconds to play with. Little going to be able to get one more, and it looks like they're throwing this round away. They've got to try and retrieve that bomb. Smart stuff from Quebec, and actually going to go back around to try and reposition himself. Little with the AWP. Peeks wide, and while Rocking is aware this potential danger. But the last time they saw Quebec, and it was over towards Connector. We'll see how good a read they have in the situation. Not a good read at all. Cirque, however, holding this angle. Easy kill for him. And it is another situation where the money just gets absolutely wrecked for Spartak. They've only managed singular rounds so far in this game. An 8-3 scoreline now occurs with a 9-3 looking ever more likely. I wonder if they'll actually force into this situation. Because next round, they're not even going to have that much of a better buy. 1,400 plus 1,900. Not really a great situation now, is it? 3,300. That's like a FAMAS and armor. Nice start, though, in this round. The pistol's actually going to catch off one, but quick trades. Nice shots from Sir, because he's just farming up these eco frags. Quebecan, again, B-side player. When they hit A, he doesn't really have too much to do. Has some Kevlar. Again, may actually be worth just keeping this into the next round. I think he's going to hold for an exit, try and get himself a final frag. But it's looking unlikely. Outlaws looking somewhat dominant so far, it has to be said. Spartak have barely got their feet on the ground. And without any weapons being saved, it means, well, in terms of the next round, I'm not even sure what they're going to be going for. They're going to force this up. Quebecan can get a rifle. Face Crack can do the same, and so can Little. Jerry and Pro Play will either have to go for UMPs and get some nades, or just go for a FAMAS. Sort of waiting to see if they'll go for some sort of pause here. Instead, they're going to go for another quasi-buy and have themselves an extra 2,400 going into the next, which will give them a buy instead, but let's see if they can actually do any damage with this. NK spotting the flash. He's just going to fall back, and they're going to wait. Hope that these CTs continue to push. Instead, they just push into the angle, and one of those UMPs, along with another player, is already gone. Nice flank, though, from Face Crack. He gets in, finds himself 1, 2, looks for the third, but can't quite manage to convert. But they brought this back to a close scenario. 2 versus 2. Weaponry hugely in favor of this T side. The CTs want to try and find a little bit of info. Little gonna go pushing, and he gets wrecked instantly down, and this could force the rotation over. Now the T's, they're just playing off the time here, holding for a moment, and hoping that the remaining CT will push into them. Pro play just on a bit of a yo-yo at the moment, as he swings backwards and forwards through the connector. Hoping that he'll finally find out where they're looking to push. And unfortunately, just at the last second, he's going to rotate back in. A bomb should be planted. He's actually going to go pushing through the smoke. And he could catch one here, but Spellan too quick on the trigger. 10-3. Outlaws take themselves another round. A costly round, but no problems for them, as every single player starts this round with over $10,000. CT side finally able to get a buy back, but again, it's sort of one of those rounds where I look at the investment of the previous and say, okay, Little, you were gambling so much on getting a kill to get you that Kevlar, that instead you leave yourself without it for this round, and it just doesn't seem worth it. Extra nades, there's so many over on the other side that can just catch you out of position. Aim punch going to be a problem as well, so now you have to play this a little bit more passively than you probably would have done in a normal situation. The other thing to mention as well is that CT side will be having to go for a bit of a quasi-buy if they lose this final round. We could be seeing 12 rounds on the T side for Outlaws. As said, this is one of their strongest maps. Expected them to take this. Either way, Jerry try and hold down this site already, not going too well, leaving Kabakan just waiting over towards the oil, hoping that he can find something, and he gets absolutely decimated. I think the remaining CT players just have to save. This has been an absolute slaughter of a match so far, with Outlaws just looking dominant all the way across. CT side not really able to get their feet on the ground, and it could come down to a pistol round what actually finishes off this game. Spellan looking to try and find someone. Little in a little bit of an off position, so not expecting him to be that close. They now know where these remaining players are. It's going into the last round, so money not going to be a problem. The T's may as well go on the hunt. Worst case scenario here is that they actually give over an AK to the M4 player, which I think is worth the possibility of taking these weapons out of the hands of these remaining players. Little, however, still going to manage to hold on to the open. If anything, in this situation, I would have liked to see the T's push a little bit more. Maybe not the AWP of Cirque, but rest of them. If this is a tactical pause, I'm going to be frustrated. I'll be honest with you. How is this the point where you've realized, do you know what? I think our CT side isn't working. It's always when you look at sort of best and worst scenarios. You call a pause. Like, you have 4 pauses. 2 per half. So you take one, say here, or here. Like, what's the worst case and the best case? The worst case, you lose the rest of the rounds. The best case is you turn things around and you can get yourself to 6 or 7. The worst case here is 1 round difference from the best case. What's the point? What is the point? And then you go on to your T side where you're playing a completely different game. The only reason to do that would be if you're all screaming at each other and you need to change your mentality, which, again, if you're changing it now, it's a little bit late. Little peeks into the Molotov, takes quite a bit of early damage and doesn't really get anything for it. And well, already, Little is going to be down. The man that I highlighted as needs to go big. He's top of the board for his team, but that's not really impressive. Thank you, Bjorn. Get back in. Already going to be going down as well, leaving it on to just 3 players remaining. Cirque Just adding one more, and this is just a done round. Pro play has to go absolutely huge. We'll be able to find 1 and 2. Okay, maybe he opens things up at least a little bit. Face crack in a decent position, but the bomb's actually going to go rotating back through. Now, if that third kill had gone the way of the CT side, anything could have been possible. They would have had the bomb down over towards Ivy while the other 2 players are on B. Instead, the T side get a ludicrously open plant. And, well, even if Face Crack gets back in here, they've got a player just waiting all the way back. They've got so much control of this B side at the moment, and it doesn't even matter. NK will finish things off with the AWP, Outlaws with a dominating half, and Spartak needing a miracle if they're going to pull this back on the T side. I don't think Bulgaria are going to be needing your cheers too much, RNG. I think they've got this one covered unless Spartak can absolutely turn this one around. Outlaws. Looking to try and finish this here and now. Pretty much full armor on every single player other than pro play. And they're actually going to go towards Ivy with the nades, so I imagine that will just be used to smoke that left side and attempt to push back in. Bomb actually making its way further over towards the B side of the map at the moment. Now, I don't think the CT side have spotted it as of yet, and their setup's quite intriguing. Playing multiple players over towards Ivy and over towards that B side as well, and both players are going to get absolutely wrecked. Gonna try and wrap back around. This is that split tactic over towards that B side. The problem is they've just got swept away. Lovely stuff from the CT side. Rocking even left over. And this pistol round has completely turned on its head. I don't know how they clean things up so easily. 13-3. Spartak with very little choice but to force into this round. Now, Little will want his AWP, so I wonder if he will actually force alongside them. He's not really going to be saving anything, so AWP not looking likely unless they can manage to turn things around. Now, we saw the T side do that previously, but we haven't seen anything impressive from Spartak as of yet. Now, they're in a tough group. If they don't manage to win this one, they've still got Epsilon to come later. But there we go. Face Crack going to be able to start things off with looking like at least one will be sprayed down. Now, a good Molotov to at least hope to block them down, but instead just wipe out. Total wipeout, in fact, as now only Kabakin stands. He was meant to be the guy flanking, to come in late from behind. Instead, already a man will get on the defuse. Kabakin just looking to keep his weapon into the next round. I think he knows at this point that there's no way he's winning this round. They're going to have to... Well, they're going to have to either go for broke here, or save for what will be map point, so... Really a lot of decisions to be made. T-side forcing once again. Kabakin will at least be able to get himself an AK. Face Crack as well has a rifle, but it's still not a goodbye. And it may be goodbye soon as well. CT side looking dominant. Little going to be spotted. Jumping around with his trusty scout. We'll give him a little bit of extra information. Looking for the shot as well. And there we go. NK's going to fall. Entry kill going the way of Little. Could this be his awakening? They definitely need him now. More than ever, really. 14-3 down. T-side looking set to split over towards this A site. Only one man actually blocks off the players in Ivy. So they're going to have to wait a little bit longer due to the Molotov. Flashbang going to go out. Face crack will get himself the entry. Quick rotation will be in, however, from Cirque, who's going to look to try and break this back. Lovely flashbang. Catches both players as well. Magnificent stuff from the AWPer of the team. Looking for Little, and of course he takes him down as well. And Cirque, the youngster, just 17 years of age, I think. Maybe wrong on that one. Correct me if I am. It's just going to finish them off. Wonderful stuff. 15-3. Arguably a worse buy than we saw in the previous round. Going to be coming back up while Cirque has enough to buy his trusty AWP. As if this situation couldn't get any worse. Well, it just did. Little. Lining up his smokes. Final or potential final round strategy. Just going to be an open, aggressive push over towards this site. Lovely entry kill from Jerry. Once again, starting things off. But Nicky through the smoke is already able to trade things back. Face crack being brought very, very low. But he needs to try and get that bomb down before the smokes fade. Hence the attempt to just run and gun. But already, Rocking going to take down one. Now, Kabakin in a decent position. Will they expect him to be coming in from behind? The likelihood is no. And he could be the one pinnacle factor in this round. He has to go huge. Finds one. Looks for a second, but actually runs out of bullets. And already NK's found another in the meantime. Going for a little bit more, but pro play 1 versus 3 to keep them in the map. And it's just not going to happen. Outlaws with absolute domination. 16-3. They've taken their map pick in style. And now they're going to go on to map number 2. Mirage. To try and take this series in a 2-0 fashion. Either way, guys, I'll be back in a little bit. If you have enjoyed the cast, don't forget you can always check me out on Twitter by typing !caster in the chat. And of course, check out Hellcase. You know, why not, right? They're the ones sponsoring this. This is what you get to bet on. I know most of you here are bettors. I'm not a fool. You don't really love me. But yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. And we'll be bringing you map number 2.